Okay, this is video 2, and this was the vehicle that got the new condenser. That you could see heat exchanger number 2, because heat exchanger number 1 is in front, heat exchanger number 3 is in the back. And if you're a recap for the guys who just caught this video, this was the damaged line that needed to be replaced because it was on top of the receiver dryer. And we all know we always change receiver dryers or accumulators every time we open up a system to the atmosphere, and especially if the vehicle is over 5 to 7 years old. Most likely they have a limited life expectancy of the capacity of moisture that the desiccant material that's contained in a receiver dryer or accumulator has. So you're going to be replacing them anyway just because of that, because you already have the system drained and open. So last video I left this off at a nitrogen pressure decay test, and I told you I'll be back in 5 minutes. It's been 12 minutes, and as you can see here, it's been 12 minutes and 59, 13 minutes now, and we only dropped 0.6 tenths of 1 psi. So nothing. That's basically considered nothing. I'm going to put that on just hose expansion. And if you took this time and you took this pressure drop, in 13 minutes it dropped 6 tenths. Now if you were to re-perform this test again, starting right now after everything is relaxing, to kind of prove it, what you would do is you would re-perform the test and you would let 13 minutes go by, and the next time it goes, you might find out it only drops 0.4 or 0.3 of a psi in 13 minutes. The time ratio will go down instead of being exactly the same. And that's if you really want to make sure that you don't have a leak after this amount of time. This would be the right amount of time to let everything relax and expand anyway, so long as there wasn't a drastic temperature change of going up or down. So yeah, actually we just went to 0.5, went up. So this is going to be deemed good, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to close the high side and I'm going to bleed out the refrigerant on the low side, and I'm going to pull the vacuum on the low side until it reaches below, say, 1,000 microns or so, and then open up the high side. So let's make sure this is off. Disconnect this. That's just the nitrogen in the line. And then we have the low sides open. So bleed it off. And you can see that I'm bleeding it off on the low side, but I'm leaving the high side. It's slowly coming down. That's how good of a job the expansion valve traps air in the high side. So see that? Look at, we're wide open, we're closed on the high side. Look how much pressure is still trapped in the high side. So I have to let that go for a while, and it's going. It's eventually getting there. Let's see. Getting down there. And remember from video 2, I asked a question about recharging in cool climates, and this particular vehicle, hybrid, and the customer going to a hot climate and complaining the AC doesn't work, and coming back multiple times to a shop to get recharged again and still have the same result. Tell me why. That's the question. Okay, so now we're down to 0. So now I'm going to close, and I'm going to close the low side. I'm going to open the high side. Let's close. This is off to the atmosphere, so I'm going to close the one to the atmosphere right now that I just bled out. And now I'm going to open up the vacuum, and we're gonna pull the nitrogen out of the low side into vacuum and kind of do this sweep, this flush through the entire system with the clean, dry nitrogen that I just put in the system. So, oh yeah, that's right. Close the high side. Open. Talking on video and doing stuff, sometimes I do things backwards. And there we go. Now I'm opening it. See, the high side is closed, the low side is open, and you can see that the low side is going down faster than the high side, and it'll eventually catch up. And eventually, well, I guess I'll wait here and we'll watch paint dry, and we'll see this go into the microns. And once it starts dipping down into microns, I'm going to open up the high side. I'm not going to wait the full time like I want to, because I'm doing a video, and I'm leaving this vehicle behind on a vacuum while I'm going to do some other jobs. So this vehicle will be on vacuum for 2 to 3 hours before I come back here. Come on, guy, anytime now. Okay, I'm not going to wait, because I can't just sit here with a video camera doing nothing. So I'm opening up to the high side because I'm impatient and I'm doing a video, and I need to get out of here and get to that other job because I'm behind schedule today, because I'm doing a video instead of just getting things done and going. And this will just stay here on vacuum. And yeah, it'll stay here on vacuum, and it will go down. Let's see, make sure I do have that off. Yeah, I do have that off. And I'll come back. All right, guys, let's see what this is like after a few hours.